An independent contractor is a self-employed person or an entity that is contracted to do work or provide a service to another entity as a non-employee. As an independent contractor, you are required to provide a W-9 form to anyone that pays you for your services. So this video is going to show you the proper way to complete a W-9 form. My name is Keisha Rondino. I am a business and real estate CPA. My goal is to educate you on business and tax strategies so you can keep more of the money you make and build wealth within your business and your investments. So let's get to it. So a W-9 form is a document that is used for tax purposes. And so you will prepare the W-9 because it has all of the information needed in order for your client or the business that you do work for to submit to you a 1099 at the end of the year. W-9 form starts off with the first block. It is your name. That is where you are going to input your name that is on your tax return. The second block is going to be your business name. And so if your business name is different from the name that's on the tax return, you are going to include that business name here in block 2. So when you move down to block 3, this is where you're going to report which your federal tax classification is when you report your income to the IRS. So if you operate as a sole proprietor, you will click here, or you will check a C corporation, you will check an S corporation, you will check a partnership, or you will check if it is a trust or an estate. Now, if you operate as an LLC, which is a limited liability company, you may have elected a different type of tax classification. And if that happens, you will have to select the limited liability company block, and then you will include whether you are taxed as a C corporation, an S corporation, or a partnership. Now, if none of these fits the way that you operate, you're going to put other and include that information here. So when we move over to block 4, this is where you will report any exemptions that you may have as for being an independent contractor. Now, this is not extremely common, but it may be something that does pertain to you. And if it does, you're going to include that information here in block 4. Then we will move over to block 5. That is where you are going to include the address of your business, as well as block 6, which is the city, state, and the zip code of the business. And then you will move down to line 7 that requests account number. So if you are working with a client or another business and you have an account number with them, you are going to include that number here, optional, in this field here. And over to the right, you're going to see where it says requester's name and address. That is also an optional field, and that is your client or your business name and address. If they provide to you this W-9 form, then this information may already be included in there so you can have it. You are not required to put that information in there. If you want to, you absolutely can, or they may actually give you the W-9 with that information in there. Then you will move on to part 1. So part 1 is where you will report your taxpayer identification number. So if you operate independently as an individual or as a sole proprietor, you are going to include your social security number. However, if you are a business, or you can also be an individual that operates with an EIN number, you are going to include that EIN number here in this block. This will allow the IRS to know exactly what business or what entity has received these funds. In part 3 is basically a certification of the information that's being reported. It's basically saying that to your knowledge, all information is correct and you have reported everything that needs to be reported. You will sign where it says signature, and you will also date it. So that's all the information that is included on a W-9 form that you do have to complete. And the rest of the form is information and instructions on what is included up top. So if you need further information about what they're asking about, or you just want to read up on W-9 forms, all of this is will be useful for you. But the W-9 form does have to be completed. If you are an independent contractor, you will submit it to your client or any business that you do any work for throughout the year, and they will have all the information needed in order for them to issue you a 1099 at the end of the year. I hope this has been helpful for you. If you need more tips as a business owner and for tax savings, make sure that you hit the subscribe button and you follow, and you will be up to date on everything.